Year 4, day 36, 14 minutes. The Kerbals need a rescue. Jebediah hits the gas as he and Bob leave Duna's sphere of influence, ready to meet the rescue vessel. The vessel lifts off, controlled by a probe core, ready to house Jebediah and Bob. After 9 years and 3 days of being in space, Jebediah and Bob see their rescue ship. Bob grabs all the science and makes his way across the great expanse post-haste. Jebediah follows suit shortly after, taking in the sights of the great Kerbal expanse. The Kerbals see Kerbin again for the first time since they've launched, and a hero's welcome is planned. Dipping into the atmosphere, the Kerbals know that they will be home in just a few minutes. Parachutes deployed and splashdown is complete. The Kerbals have made it home. Using the grants from the mission, the Kerbals also upgrade the Space Center to its maximum. Now it's time for the Kerbals to clean up low Kerbin orbit. Stay tuned to see it happen.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, we retrieved our brave Kerbals, Jebediah and Bob, from the grips of Duna and brought them back, and we upgraded our entire space facility here. Everything is fully upgraded as far as I have seen. Just one last check here: astronaut complex, admin building, research and development. Yes, indeed. We have a full thing. So basically, all of our money now goes for rockets and more rockets. And today, as I had mentioned in the last episode, what I would like to do is start cleaning up some of this mess. You can see a lot of debris here. We've got Sarah's pod, probe, Mimus debris from all kinds of launches, and they're pretty much in the same orbit, as you can see. So it wouldn't take much for us to go ahead and clean up low Kerbin orbit here, and maybe even some of these big wide ones like the Duna debris there and some satellite relay debris. We need to be a responsible spacefaring race, and cleaning up low Kerbin orbit is a good first step. Plus, it gives us an excuse to fit on the asteroid grabber. Speaking of asteroid, I actually did not know. Are there any near Kerbin objects? I do see a few. We actually have an unknown object right here. It is classified as huge. I don't know what it's... Okay, so it looks like its orbit will continue. Don't want it smacking into Kerbin. There are a few, small asteroids that we can see. One's actually following the Sentinel, and I mean, we've got a pretty good shot from the Sentinel to Kerbin, so that's why we can see all of this stuff around. It'd be cool if this thing just sort of parked right next to Kerbin orbit, but, unless it's orbiting Kerbin, it will drift slightly, that is for sure. So we don't look like we have any Armageddon getting ready to happen, so we can clean up that debris with our asteroid grabber. So I will build us a rocket to get up there, put in Valentina because she needs to stretch her space legs, and be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, is it overkill? Absolutely, but this should get us into orbit just fine, as well as allow us to get the majority of the garbage. And there it is, the advanced grabbing unit. When this thing opens up, the claw comes out, and we can grab onto things, hopefully actual parts. Spaceplane parts, not just asteroids. I haven't tried it, but it's worth a shot. We also have some landing legs here. I want to bring back this whole thing into reentry, and just have enough fuel to go around and pick up most of the stuff. So I'll go on the launch pad. We've got Valentina, Bill, and Bob. Bob just wanted to get back out there, but Jebediah knew he was a little bit more experienced and he's taking some vacation, but Valentina needs the extra little boost, so she's going to try to level up to star level 2. Staging is done. Launch pad should be ready to go. All right, launch pad is set. Valentina's ready to light this candle. 3, 2, 1, go! Big lift, and we've got that asparagus staging. Our Reliant engines are doing the main pushing. Then we also have swivels there on the side to help guide this thing. The main sail is powering the center stack until we get up here. Then we'll actually have a poodle that will help us get around orbit and shuttle some of this stuff back down to Kerbin. So that is the ultimate goal. Of course, we want to go right on the 90 as per usual because most of our crap is along that 90. So let's go ahead and hold that there if you please, Valentina, and get ready for the first separation. Only 73 meters a second left, and there's flame out. There they go in a nice spiral. Thank you, Sepratrons. Picking up even more speed thanks to those swivel engines. We're breaking through just fine. It looks like we're really picking up speed here. Let's just keep heading on up. You've seen this type of launch profile before, so I'll see you once we get in orbit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, orbit acquired and solar panels are out. Communication is good. Let's start the trash pickup. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that maneuver node there because we don't need it. We'll check and see our orbit is fine, 75 by 75. Oh, only 100 meters a second difference. And as you can see, our grabber debris will come back to Kerbin. We're not going to litter as we do. So essentially we just need to set one of these debris as our target, which we have this station debris right there set as our target. So what we can do is start a maneuver node, let's say at our apoaps. It really doesn't matter, we're traveling the same speed, and we'll see if we can get a close encounter. And as you can see right about there, we can indeed. 28K. There's 4.9K approaching at 89.2 kilometers a second, only a 52 meter a second change. So that will be the first target of our police call here. We'll go ahead and warp to our next maneuver. Get ready to burn for those 2 seconds and meet up with our garbage. All right, Valentina, if you please. Go ahead and SAS on. We'll get you on our maneuver node. This thing is quite spry. It moves around quite well. We also brought a little bit of RCS fuel so we can do minute speed adjustments. And yeah, we're just going to wait for T-1. And since we are going to be on the prograde, might as well go prograde. And it's going to be a 2-second burn. We'll burn at T-1. 3, 2, 1. 1001, 1002, cut. And then we'll just finish her off in the oven. All right, so that was a bang-on transfer. Let's see how we line up here. 4.9 kilometers, so fairly close. Let's see if we can do better. I'll turn RCS on, and we will go forward just a skosh. 5.3, all right, so let's go back. Slow down. Let's actually use our RCS monitor up here. We have 150 kph. And that looks like that's as close as we can get with lateral. So that's fine, 1.1 kilometers. So I'll go ahead and warp around to the back side of the planet and see you on the daylight side. All right, about 150 meters away from our next piece of garbage. We're approaching at 8 meters a second, and we are getting ready to put on the brakes, and we'll wait until actual sunrise so we can sort of see what we're doing and hope this is a part that we can grab. And here it comes, 13, 10. Yeah, and it looks like it is a ring. And I'm not exactly sure if we can grab that separator. We can give it a try, but my gut is telling me no. We'll just make do with what we've got here. Just take a look-see. We'll point right there and skadoosh. Now, we hit it, but it doesn't seem... Yeah, it doesn't seem to like that. Now, if we were to push it retrograde, we would be facing this way. And if we could get it hooked onto the spacecraft, it might not be too awful bad. All right, let's see. Now let's just RCS up. Stabilize here. Yeah, that's a lot of monoprop fuel. Let's turn off SAS and see if we can line her up here. And then as soon as we do, all right, I think we got it. All right, so point retrograde. And basically what we want to do is drop our apoapsis down, which it does look indeed like it's going to be at 62K. 59 should be fine. So all we really have to do now is just fling this bad boy off, and it should burn up in the atmosphere. All right, booyah. Off you go. All right, so hopefully, we'll go ahead and lock prograde here, but hopefully we lowered that guy's periapsis enough. Speaking of which, we actually need to raise our apoaps up a bit, because our peri's at 59. All right, there we go. 71 by 81. All right, so we are not going to fall into the atmosphere, but one thing I am curious about is I want to watch and see if this debris does indeed hit the atmosphere. So I'm going to go to the tracking station now that I know that the grabber is safe and sound, and see if we can watch it hit the atmosphere. Operation Cleanup in high gear. As you can see, that ring that we pushed into the upper regions of the atmosphere, it did slow down enough on its first pass that as soon as it started interacting with atmosphere, it started going down. So, you know, we just need to keep on keeping on. Let's watch this thing splash down. About 10 seconds until splashdown. If this thing survives and we can recover it, that'd be pretty awesome, but I'm not feeling too well about this little ring. Come on, little ring, withstand the explosion. Here we go. Nope. Did not survive, but splashed harmlessly in the ocean. So I'm going to do that with the rest of the garbage, so you'll see the highlights. All right, next contestant is coming up 120 meters away. We did the separation, and I actually flipped around backwards, pushed that thing back down into the atmosphere, and then sped back up to catch up to this guy. But this is a pretty substantial piece of debris here. It looks like the bottom lifter section. So we'll slow down here. Make sure we don't hit it with too much gusto. 3 meters a second. Well, we kind of did, but that is no worse for the wear. No worries indeed. All right, let's go ahead and just kill our momentum. Point at it, see if we can grab it. Grab it, please. Grab it. There we go. Now we're docked. Sweet. All right, so we'll turn this bad boy retrograde. It looks like we can only grab certain parts of it, or all 3 or 4 grabbers need to be there. But either way, we will just put on the brakes, and we'll actually wait until our apoaps, and then we'll put on the brakes and see what happens there. By then, the grabber debris should be getting ready to crash down, so that's also something we can look forward to. And it should be solid enough in the atmosphere. So I'll go ahead and watch the grabber debris and be right back. All right, apoaps lowered on this section down to 58,000. I think that should be enough. We will go ahead and release, flip prograde, and make sure that we erase our apoaps again once more so we aren't subjected to crashing. That would be bad indeed. All right, 75. Cool. So our grabber will go down, or, you know, the bottom grabber debris will go around one more time, and that one will be coming down this time. So some interesting fireworks on the way. The booster section that lifted us off the planet is now coming back down into the atmosphere. After a few orbits, it was nice and slow, but now it is in the grips of the upper atmosphere and will come down this time. Let's see where it splashes down. Breaking the sound barrier with a sonic boom, and we are not coming down in any controlled way. Really coming down like a bullet. Down from the atmosphere. We're still at 400 meters a second with only 400 meters to go. This is going to be big. And nothing survives. Outstanding. On to that Minmus section. Here is the booster from our Minmus stage so long ago, finally dipping down into the atmosphere. It was up at what, 200,000, 250,000 meters, so it's coming back down to Kerbin after 25 long years, perhaps, and it looks like it may be a land landing, although it could overshoot and hit into the water. We'll just have to wait and see in about, I'd say, 5 minutes. Coming down just off the coast of this landmass here. It's still slowing down, reaching terminal velocity, basically coming straight down and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But yep. Looking down to splash down in about 50 seconds. Looks like about 70 meters per second is its terminal velocity, so we'll see what happens when it hits the water here. And of course, nothing survives. So there is one thing that I would also like to bring back, and that is Sarah's pod. And we'll see if we can grab it and deorbit it and land it in one big thing and get those parts back. So I will see you when we see Sarah's pod. All right, Sarah's pod is screaming right for us at 537 meters a second. Let's go ahead and start working on killing off some of that speed and see if we can get a nice park right by here. There she goes, yom. 300 meters a second still. Yeah, we needed to burn a little bit earlier. We're still trying to kill off all of that lateral speed. We had a funny angle at it, but now that the speed is killed and we overshot by 1.9 meters a 1.9 kilometers, we'll do the standard dock here. Head towards it 55 meters a second should be fine. And yeah, we'll see you when we dock up. All right, I waited until we got a little bit on the daylight side to do the dock. There it is, 15 meters away. Let's go ahead and see if we might be able to snatch this thing up and then bring it back, deorbit it with us. That would be ideal. 1.5 meters a second. Can we get the grip on? There we go. So we have Sarah's pod that we rescued her from. Now we just basically need to plot an entry into deorbit right around the Kerbal Space Center, and let's see exactly where it is. Okay, so we're going to be on the back side of the planet. Yeah, we sort of flew over it already, so I'm going to go ahead and warp around and deorbit and try to land as close as possible to the KSC, so I will be right back. All right, we've got a good angle here. We're shooting just past the Kerbal Space Center, and as we dip into the atmosphere, we should slow down. Let me go retrograde here and slow down the burn just in case something goes a little bit wonky. So I'm hoping that both the engine and the landing gear survive. We got the pod sort of blocked by our crew pod here. And we should have enough electric charge. Yeah, we're at 235 and only draining at 0.2. So let's speed this up just a little bit and see how close we actually can get. We've also got 28 meters a second left in the tank to see if we can slow down, but the Kerbal Space Center is just over these mountains right about there. So we perhaps did not go far enough. That's okay though, because I think once we get slowed down enough, we can point sky high, burn the last 28 meters a second off, and see if we can slow down here. So yeah, we didn't get far enough in, so all right, let's see. Can we go ahead and stability assist? We'll point up as we can. Yeah, we're slowing down here. All right, fine, just go retrograde if you can. And that electric charge is definitely fighting. Parachutes are ready to deploy, though. Parachutes out. Landing gear down. Yeah, and unfortunately, that pod is weighing us down quite a bit. It should still be slow enough, though, to not blow up, I'm hoping. I'll try to use my last 17 meters a second to right myself once these things are ready. All right, so the pod does have enough oomph to right itself, thankfully. We'll be coming down fairly well. Can I SAS and stability assist, please? 6.9 meters a second. A little bit of thrust. Cut. Nice. We came back with a Sarah's pod strongly attached. And yeah, that's pretty good. We'll go ahead and recover that vessel, see how much we get for it. And overall, a successful day. We cleaned up a few of our debris orbits, and we brought back Sarah's pod, which might be worth some moolah. And the lander worked okay. 0.1 science, sure. 13,000 funds back, $1.7 million. And no, Valentina's ready. She didn't level up, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and recover the grabber debris. And yeah, so that is how you clean up your atmosphere, or your low Kerbin orbit. I'm going to be lazy and just delete the rest of them, but it could be done if we wanted to spend time and effort. So in the next mission, we are going to ferry a couple of VIPs. We have Dottie Kerman that wants to fly by the moon and orbit it. And also, we have Dudmal Kerman, who wants to fly around Minmus and orbit it. And I think we're going to use the very same rocket that we just had for the grabber. I mean, minus the grabber, of course. But we had more than enough Delta V to go and do that. We can get some orbits. We can do all that stuff. A lot of money to make for sure. So we should come out ahead, but that will do it for me, ladies and gentlemen, and this episode of KSP. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.